An arbitrary detention is one of the most violently unforgettable crimes our eyes can ever see. Canada must stand for the right of innocent people to be free. Random and targeted imprisonment and forced confinement is practiced by settler colonial states to bring the Indigenous population to their knees. This must never be acceptable here or elsewhere. The Israeli military systematically detains innocent people, including children. Israeli and Palestinian human rights groups document the forms of torture that Israeli jailers and torturers inflict on a routine basis. Sleep deprivation, stress positions, restrictions on breathing and vision, such as being tied up, forced to wear a hood with painful insertions and with the stale vomit of other prisoners inside. Extreme cold, extreme heat, disturbing and terrifying sounds, threats to kill or maim, and electrocution. These are just some of the numerous, routine, and incontrovertibly documented torture practices happening to people now as I speak. Sometimes the hardest part of arbitrary detention is being ripped away from your loved ones. This is as hard for the people outside prison as it is for those inside. A father once said to me, "When they are taken away, your heart goes with them." He was describing first when he was taken prisoner, and then years later when his child was taken prisoner. Generations of Palestinians have been subjected to this inhumane detention regime of injustice. Israel detains the elderly, like 82-year-old grandmother Fahmiya Khaldi. Israel detains the unborn, who were born in prison. Israel detains the innocent and has institutionalized the practice of detaining the innocent from 1948 until the present. Every Palestinian is affected. Israeli media reports that 70% of Palestinian families have had a family member torn away from them by the Israeli practice of arbitrary detention. Detention is an indignity. Prisoners are forced to wear brown. They are deprived of all basic needs, from toilets to water, to food to fresh air. Solitary confinement is institutionalized. In recent mass arrests, Israeli soldiers have forcibly taken everything away, including clothes. Unaccountable, armed Israeli assailants publicly strip Palestinians naked, blindfold and number them, and abuse them. Many Palestinians are beaten to within an inch of their lives, and some Israeli jailers beat prisoners to death. Israeli detention of Palestinians is a crime against the innocent, carried out in front of the eyes of the innocent. Israeli soldiers pulverized the arms and jaw of the father of 3-year-old Nadia in December. Then they shot him dead in front of her. Finally, they bombed the building, killing her in the arms of her older sister. After multiple reports in December of disappearances of family members taken by Israeli forces, in breaking news this week, dozens of bodies were found in zip-tied bags in a schoolyard in Beit Lahia in the northern Gaza Strip. These people, who had been missing for weeks, had been blindfolded, handcuffed, tortured, and eventually shot at close range. Who condones the violence that Israel routinely perpetrates on Palestinians? Who sees this as legal, moral, or justifiable? All people, including our elected representatives, must restore freedom, life, hope, and dignity to innocent Palestinians taken captive. 8,600 over the past 4 months. 1 million since 1967, and continuing back to 1948. We must not condone oppression. We must all work to end settler colonialism here and in Palestine. We must join to stand for freedom. Not freedom for some, but freedom for all.